Hello, it's Ian Hunter Gray here for the Confident Live Marketing Show. This is episode 51, and I'm so excited. I've got Molly Mahoney on the show. How are you doing, Molly?
I'm so great.
This has been a long time coming, really. We've been trying to sort this out for a long time, haven't we?
We have. I mean, I actually can't believe it. It's been so long, and I'm honored and stoked, and I look very concentraty at the beginning of this video.
Concentrate.
I was setting up a watch party as we started.
You are the queen. Well, you're the queen of a lot of things, but I'm going to say you're definitely the queen of multitasking. I don't know how you do it, but yeah. I mean, you were talking to me about watch parties and pinging this over there and all that kind of stuff. So awesome. Well, thank you. It's great to have you here. So just for people who haven't come across you before, which I'm sure there's like one or two people out there, but tell us where you're calling in from today.
Yeah, so I am in Anaheim, California, in my office here in my house. And yeah, do you want me to talk about my business or any of that? Or
we're going to get onto that a little bit after the break. But we can do that.
Fireworks at Disneyland, but they're not going now.
No, they're not. No. Well, we're trying to keep our, we're trying to keep positive. And I know that you're working from home. You've got the kids running around. We've just got, so obviously the time for you is just 1:15 in the afternoon. Here it is 9:15 in the evening. So the kids are trying. They are technically asleep, but we'll see. I don't know. And I'm trying to do multitasking here, but I'm doing it so much worse than you. I'm trying to go to LinkedIn to get my comments up because I don't know.
I don't know if everyone knows this because if you do this all the time, but how many different tools are you learning to make this using to make this live happen right now? Because when you told me before we started, I was like quite amazed.
Well, I'm a total hypocrite because I keep saying to everyone, keep it simple. Just go live, don't and then of course, but I mean, part of what I like to do is play around with different tools and see what works and stuff. So yeah, I'm using. In fact, I've just forgotten to press record on Adobe Audition, which might be helpful for the podcast. So I'm using Adobe Audition for the podcast. I'm setting up the show in Ecamm Live, outputting that into StreamYard, which will then stream to Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Periscope. And then that's outputting into Restream to go to, I'm just testing it out, Twitch and Mixer today. We'll see how that goes.
I am amazed by the magic of the internet at your house, like how your computer can handle it all, but it seems like it's working. So
they're all, it's all cloud. It's all cloud stuff. So it's, my computer doesn't have to be too
I suppose that's true.
Anyway,
but it's awesome.
Anyway, enough of me. It's great to have you on the show. And thank you so much for watching the replay. If you're watching the replay, just put #replay in the comments. It'd be awesome to know whether you're watching the replay or not. And also tell me where in the world you're from. And if you're watching live, I can see we've got loads of people watching on Facebook and YouTube. We've got a few people on LinkedIn. Don't be shy. Molly is not going to bite you. It's great to have Molly on the show. And we're going to be talking about how to drive more traffic and sales with live video. Because I don't know about you, Molly. I mean, a lot of people talk about going live and they get really excited about that. And they don't really have any thoughts about how to monetize it. Has that been your experience?
Well, and even more so now, like finally, I feel like everything that you and I have been talking about for years about having the confidence to show up on camera and that you don't need to have like crazy fancy cameras or tech stuff and all of that and how easy it can actually be. The playing field is leveled with the situation that we're in right now. So it's been awesome to see so many people going live. However, most people are not using a strategy. They are not, really, they don't have a plan with how they're going to bring in results for their business or their movement. And so it's something that I am really passionate to be talking about. And I am excited to talk about it with you because it's totally true. Most people aren't doing that.
Absolutely. Well, I'm so excited to have you on because this is a topic we've talked about it a little bit. We've had a few people on talking about sales and monetization and having a strategy. We had Amanda Webb recently, a couple of weeks ago, talking about that. But now it's time to get really into the sales and talking about traffic and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's time. I don't want you to share all your secrets now. I think it's time to have the break, and we'll be with you just after this. See you in a bit.
Do it.
This is the Confident Live Marketing Podcast. Confident Live Marketing Podcast with Ian Anderson Gray, helping entrepreneurs level up their impact, authority and profits through the power of live video. Gain confidence in front of the camera, confidence with technology, and confidence with the content and marketing.
Together, we can go live!
Hello, it's Ian Anderson Gray for episode 51 of the Confident Live Marketing Show. I've got Molly Mahoney on the show today talking about how to drive more traffic and sales with live video. That's definitely something that many of us need help with. So I'm really excited about that. And I don't often get the chance to hang out with Molly. It's usually only once a year at Social Media Marketing World in San Diego. So now I'm going to get the opportunity to hang out with Molly, which is great. But first, it's time for my first sponsor. And I'm trying to find the button. Here we go. The first sponsor today is StreamYard, which is one of the tools I'm using today. StreamYard is my top recommended live video streaming tool as a web app because it works in your browser and it works for Macs or PCs, which is great. And it's so incredibly simple to use. It has so many amazing features, such as being able to highlight comments on the screen, add your own titles. You can have up to 5 guests on your show without any extra software, which is cool. You can also be able to share your screen, and also your guest can do that too. So that's great for those how-to videos. You can add your own brand colors. You can stream to Facebook, Periscope, LinkedIn Live, YouTube, pretty much all of the networks out there. And now you can use green screens. They've just added that. All of that is on the free version of StreamYard, which is cool. Now, if you go for one of the paid plans, they've got even more features, such as being able to add your own logo, overlays, backgrounds, videos, and you can multicast, which is very posh, to up to 5 destinations. So if you want to find out more, you just need to go to iag.me/StreamYard. They've got a free trial and obviously a free plan as well. So check it out. Just go to iag.me/StreamYard. So I'm excited to have Molly Mahoney on the show. Molly is a digital strategist who specializes in creating authentic Facebook video content and leveraging bots to skyrocket sales. After her video reached 1 million organically, she developed her signature go live and monetized glam method. She's been featured in Inc. magazine and seen speaking at Social Media Marketing World. Molly, it's great to have you on the show. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. You know this, and I want the world to know this, just that you are one of my most favorite humans on the planet. And I so appreciate your friendship, even though we really only talk once a year usually. And we're changing that by being here live together. So I can't wait to jump in and share these strategies with everybody.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward. We have been on the same show. I think I've been on your show
a couple
once
times,
at least.
twice,
no,
I think.
2. You're right. Yeah, 2 times. Because I know you do lots.
One
of
was more casual, like we were very tired at Social Media Marketing World and talking about the fear and like the way that people like the imposter syndrome was really that first video that we did together, which was awesome. And then we've had you on for other stuff too, so it's good to be here.
Which is cool. Yeah, and so are you from California? Or you're certainly calling in from California. Where are you from originally?
Yeah, so I'm in Anaheim now. I'm originally from Orange, which is just 6 minutes away. And I lived in New York for 8 years. I did cruise ships, which loving the cruise ships right now. And I'm still so grateful for the time that I had on cruise ships, and worked in Vegas, lived in Vegas for a little while, all as mainly a singer and a musical theater performer. So I've been all over.
Which is amazing. It's one of the other things that I think is amazing. You know, not only are we're kind of teaching similar but yet different things. I mean, we're not doing exactly the same thing, but we've got the same kind of background. We're both performers, singing background. And
you're one of the only people that I know that's in this space. Like, we've talked about this before too, that I'm so a fan of collaboration over competition and celebrating those who teach similar things. And what I love, one of the things, and among many that I love about you, is that you are one of the only people I know in this space who has such a strong, like musical background and singing, and like that when we speak about live video, we talk about breathing from your diaphragm and we talk about vocal warm-ups, and I don't hear many other people talking about that. So it's awesome.
That's true. Well, maybe we should definitely have you back on the show, and we can talk about vocal stuff, because I have talked about that on the show, but it'd be cool to have you back on a week, because I'm sure we've got similar yet a different approach to it, and it's I always like to hear different approaches to things, and that's really cool. And Yeah. So
I mean, it's weird that we also both have this like, and fascination with the tech side. Also, I don't think those two things come together very often. To have this like very creative thing mixed with this nerdy tech stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Everybody who's here, we're in for a treat because we love all of the things about the strategy and all that. So.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing what you've got to say about bots as well, and so that's going to be good. I've just noted I shouldn't ignore our lovely people watching live. This is so we've got Gina watching from South Florida. We've got Nora Litch saying hey Molly. We've got Alan from
Yay,
Quebec.
Nora, Cam fam.
Alan from Quebec and Canada. We've got Martin Buckland, the wonderful Martin. He's a great guy. We met in London, I think last year sometime. From Toronto, we've got someone called Molly Mahoney. I don't know who she is. Saying hey, and we got.
She's a mom who's fixing a video game for her 6-year-old who just came in and asked him to fix the controller. Careful.
Doing the multitasking again, and also got Rehab from saying hello, Molly, and Pam Greenway saying hello. So that's awesome. Yay. If you're watching the replay, or just put #replay. If you're watching live, let us know. And if you've got any questions for Molly, we're talking all about increasing your sales and traffic through live video. So when did we first meet? It probably is sometime in social media marketing world.
Yeah, I think it might actually. Does this make sense that it would be 5 years ago?
Yeah, it probably was.
Yeah, 5, maybe even 6 years ago, because we actually met before I even started doing anything that I'm doing right now. We met when I was a singing teacher in the choir at Social Media Marketing World, very briefly. Yeah. And that was right before Facebook Live came out. So I think we met maybe even in 2015. Is that right? Or maybe it was 2016. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, that's crazy.
2015 was my first social media marketing world. So yeah. And it's been amazing to see how you've progressed or, exploded really in your career in this whole live video space. Since 2016 is when Facebook Live became a big thing, isn't it? So
yeah, that's when it first was available. Yeah. So the first time I was able to do it, I had to borrow my husband's iPhone, which was in April of 2016. Yeah.
That's interesting because I didn't have access to an iPhone, so I had to go down the OBS Studio route. That was, and oh my goodness, yeah. So there we go. Anyway, right. Well, I think are you? I didn't tell you about this, Molly. Are you ready for this? This is.
I'm ready.
Are you ready? This is a quiz. We're going to do a quiz.
Okay, cool.
So it's not a difficult quiz. These are just questions just to get to know you, what you like and all this kind of stuff. So it's there's no prize, I'm afraid, but it's just a bit of fun. So, are you ready? Here we go. So,
I'm ready.
First question is, what is your favorite type of food?
Brussels sprouts.
I was ready to press the other button, and then I had to kind of find the other one. That's interesting. Really, Brussels sprouts, or are you just being funny?
No, I'm not being funny. Do you not know my thing about Brussels sprouts?
I do not know your thing about Brussels sprouts.
Oh my gosh. It's a whole strategy around Facebook Live. I'll explain it and you'll love it. But I really do love Brussels sprouts, and I've incorporated them into my business. And I've had 5 people give me a dish towel that says "Every day I'm Brustlin" because of it.
I did not know
Brussels sprouts have actually changed my life, and I do enjoy eating them as well.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing about the Brussels sprouts later on. We mustn't forget that. Okay. Well, I think I know the answer to this question, which is Mac or PC.
Oh, Mac.
Said with such passion. We've had
Android phone.
Oh, that's
Mac
good.
Computer and Android phone.
I like it. Yeah, a bit of diversity. That's cool. Okay, cool. Right. Your favorite kind of music? That might be a difficult one for you.
Yeah. So I would say either, I'd have to go back and forth between two, and this might be surprising, but either jazz or like singer-songwriter folk stuff, which you'd think that maybe I'd go with musical theater, but I'm going to go with, jazz or singer-songwriter.
I like
folky
that. Yeah,
stuff.
I'm a bit of a jazz fan myself, so I'm with that. Yeah, cool. Fab. Okay, this is, I always like to ask this question. So if you had to choose between a banana and a Krispy Kreme donut, what would it be?
Right now, if you gave me the option, I'd probably take the banana. But I know, but I think that's just because I'm being like really conscious about what I'm eating while we're on this whole enjoy your time at home thing.
It's what it's called. Enjoy your time at home. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I'm with you on that one. Okay, right, next question.
I do like Krispy Kreme donuts, but wait, hold on. Can we be real about this? Because I much prefer donuts that have crispy. The Krispy Kremes are not crispy; they're like squishy.
That's true.
If you gave me the choice of an old-fashioned donut that had like the fried edges on it, whatever they call those, more like a cruller and a banana, I'd probably choose the cruller.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Would you have a? So I was at a conference last year with Eric.
Not what I expected, and I'm very excited about it.
This is interesting. Well, I was at a conference last year with Eric Fisher and Jeff C, and they decided to have a bacon donut.
Oh yeah, I think those are great. A good idea.
Okay. I wasn't expecting you to say that. I was thinking you were going to say that's disgusting, but maybe it's only me that thinks it's disgusting. I don't know. Right, I think we need to move on. So, your favorite kids TV program?
Oh, okay. Show or movie?
Whatever you want.
Okay, so movie would be Kung Fu Panda 3, which I have a very specific reason for that. But for TV show, and this is one that we don't watch very often, but I need to bring it. We need to watch it more, which is Dot, Randy Zuckerberg's show. Do you know about this?
No. Oh, no, I have heard of it, but I've not seen it.
It's all about a vlogger with a vlogging kid with blue hair. And I didn't realize Randy Zuckerberg had created it. And when I first saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, they made a cartoon about me. I was like, this is the best thing ever. It was like all about creating internet content. And she's this little kid who has blue hair, and it's like nerdy and fun. I'm going to watch it tonight, actually.
Well, that's good. Where is it on? What is it?
I don't know. We used to watch it like a year ago. I have no idea. We don't have cable. We have internet. So we have like internet TV. So
yeah. Same as us. We don't have kind of normal TV anymore. Yeah. If that's what you call it. Okay. Favorite classical composer?
Debussy. Is he a classical composer? That's what
He is. Yeah, absolutely. What is it? Is he like an expressionist composer or something?
Yeah,
like
it's like it's like it's like George Seurat. Like it's impressionist. Is that what it is?
Impressionist. That's the one. Impressionist. Yeah, definitely.
So there's this song we sang in high school choir that I think about all the time that went like this: Dieu qui l'a fait bon regarder. Something like that. I love that song.
I didn't expect you to do that. That's great. I do recognize that. What is that piece?
It's called Dieu qui l'a fait bon regarder, I think.
Okay. There we go. Right. Final question. Are you ready for the final question?
Way too many videos in the past 2 weeks, and I think I've officially lost my mind. So I promise.
It's all right. We're all slowly going mad. We're all at home. We're, I don't know our homeschooling, by the way, has been sponsored by Netflix, Disney Plus, and the Apple App Store. So we've not been doing terribly well in that department. So moving on. What is your favorite app?
Oh, jeepers creepers. My favorite app, like, does Facebook count?
Not really.
I do really like PixArt.
Tell me more. What's that?
It's like a photo editing app, but you can also do videos now and GIFs on it.
Ah, cool.
So it's cool to like be able to, and it's, well, actually, I would say Tenor might be my favorite app, even though it's actually a web application, because I have hijacked the internet, and I'm not sure if you know about this, but if you search for GIFs on Facebook for like Facebook business, if you use that term, or if you search for the term go live, my face will show up, and it's because of Tenor.
I'm impressed. That's very good. Well, you need to check that out. So let's get on. We've got Shane Trammell is telling us off. He says, "Can we move along? Let's get on with it." We are going to get on with this. And Suzanne says, "Blue Hair Club."
Shane, hold up. Shane, I'm going to say it is actually super important to have some fun right now. So if you're like bored by the fun, then maybe you can use some patience.
we need a bit of fun, a bit of letting our hair down, and but it's okay, it's fine. We are now getting on with it, and we are going to talk about.
And I actually just dropped 3 nuggets in that also. Brussels sprouts will change your social media engagement. So there's some stuff right there.
Yeah,
I'm just going to drop that right for you. If you go to your Facebook page and you post Brussels sprouts, yes or no, you will have more comments than you've ever had on anything possibly on your Facebook page. The other thing is in Kung Fu Panda 3, in the end of Kung Fu Panda 3, Po realizes that it's not about teaching you to be like him. It's about teaching you to be like you. And that is why I love Kung Fu Panda 3. And that is the secret to live video. And PixArt is really awesome for editing all sorts of things that you're going to do on the internet. So we've already had 3 major nuggets during that little Q&A, I would just like to say.
I'm impressed. In fact, so he says no problem with some fun. And
I'm giving you a hard time, Shane.
Hashtag we love you, Shane. It's okay. You're perfectly entitled to tell us to move on. So let's talk about this. So I want to ask you why. This seems a silly question because we've been doing this since 2016, but why live video? I think that's a really good question. I think we should keep reminding ourselves of that. But why would you say business owners should be embracing live video right now?
Yeah. And right now it's a whole different situation, right? So I think one of the things that has stopped people from using live video in the past is the need to have something that's polished or put together and, edited like that. But really, I mean, I keep talking about the Jimmy Kimmel, his the Tonight Show. He's been doing his his videos all from home and like introducing his guests like this with like a drawing by his child. So I mean, that fear is instantly gone. So the now factor of it is that it's an even playing field. We're all in the same position, which is awesome. And it really is, I think, the only opportunity for us to really, truly connect. The word authentic can get kind of old, but like for real, it's like authentically and see what's really happening with people. So we're really connecting as humans. And it's kind of like the triple threat of content because you can have audio. If someone wants to just set it down, they can listen. We're recording this for a podcast now also, right, Ian?
Yeah. This is a podcast too.
Yeah. So it's instantly, we're setting it up with ours. We're going to be launching an Alexa briefing as well, based on our live shows. It's the amount of time that you're able to save in the repurposing without having to pre-record something and then edit it and do all of this. Like we're already here providing value for you and it's easy. We don't have to, there's no right? It just like happens in real time. You can also read it. Ian, do you have captions on your video right now while we're live? Are you using that new caption thing from Facebook or is it something else?
Is it working?
It is actually, which I'm amazed by.
So this is cool. This is, just to interrupt, because I'd completely forgotten that I switched this on. This is a new service, I believe, from Facebook where you can actually switch on live captions. I don't know how good it is, but
it looks okay. I saw Mari talk about it yesterday and I haven't had a chance to try it yet, but it looks pretty great. I'm reading it right now. It's pretty awesome. I saw at one point it had one word repeated twice, but that was it. And it said, when I came to it, it had a thing that said these captions are being live generated or something, which how awesome is that?
Oh, that's cool.
And that brings me to
Tonya says it's working, so that's great.
So cool. The triple threat factor is that if people want to have this muted and not actually listen to me singing a French classical song, they can just get the words on the bottom so they're able to read it as well. And if you use a juicy description, people can read right there, but still pick up on your energy that's coming through the camera.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I totally agree that, the energy in front of the camera is so important, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can see if you do the prep work to show up authentically, then really and confidently, and which Ian can help you with, I can help you with. This is something that when you're going to be attracting the people that you actually want to work with. And so it makes your actual delivery of your products and services even that much more easy because you haven't pretended to be something else in this like fancy polished video. You're really showing up as you.
Yeah. I think we get obsessed by fancy live videos, and I've spent a lot of time over the years making mine look a bit more fancy, and I enjoy doing that. But you don't have to do any of this stuff that I'm doing, and this is fun and it's engaging. I hope that's why I'm doing it, and it also is great in terms of I can make this into a podcast, but. you don't have to do that. In fact, sometimes we our church live streamed for the first time a couple of
yeah, I
weeks
saw
ago.
it, which was so
Oh,
great.
you did. And do you know what's so
Yeah.
beautiful about it? So the last week we had somebody coming in doing the prayers. She was in her 70s. She'd never really used this technology before, but she was doing that. Somebody coming in doing the readings. It was just so what would I say? It was like really intimate and beautiful, and it wasn't like high tech stuff. So I think we can get overly excited sometimes, or concerned or worried. Sometimes the tech, I don't know if you think this, Molly, but sometimes the tech can actually stop us from going live, or we can use that as an excuse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've started saying that if you're worried about the gear, that is the fear. That you know, for those people who think it's fun and it's cool, and I like love all the stuff that you do with your videos, and I love using tools to make them look a little fancier also. But we launched our whole program with just a phone and a Facebook group, and in 3 months of using just live video and a PayPal account to launch this program, we did $50,000 in sales, and I had not one fancy thing.
Yeah. And I think that's really important. So to say that you don't need high-tech stuff. When I did my first course, the OBS Studio course, I was overthinking it. And then I realized, actually, do you know what? I could just bung like 12 YouTube videos on a website and password protect it, and then get people to pay me on PayPal, and then give them a password. And
totally,
there was a voice in my head screaming, "No, you can't do that. That's really bad." But it didn't matter. People bought it, and it did really well. So yeah, we can overcomplicate things. So we've got some great comments here. So actually, Shane's talking about podcasts. He was saying, I've actually lost where's the comment now. He was talking about he wants to not only do live video, but for the podcast. Me and my son just did our first video podcast, and yeah, I mean, live video is great for podcasting. The only thing you've got to be aware of, obviously, with video, when you're showing things, you obviously have to describe things for your podcast, your listeners as well. And Shane's asking, what tech am I using? I'm actually using StreamYard and Ecamm Live at the same time, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend, but it's good fun.
So can I just want to ask you about that. So, because I love Ecamm as well, because I don't talk about it as often because I have a Mac, and I know not everybody has a Mac. So I know you can't use Ecamm on other things, but the format of this, where you're doing the text and all of that, is that what you're using for Ecamm? Like the way you set it up, or is that?
Yeah, so the overlays that you see. So obviously, if you're listening to this, you won't be able to see this, but I've got different overlays, and I'm being able to change the scenes using. I've got a Stream Deck here, so I'm doing all of that in Ecamm Live because I think it's one of the most powerful and flexible tools, which is great.
And so, like when you switched to having, which obviously in the podcast you couldn't see this, but when he was doing the intro, he had the StreamYard website behind you on the green screen. That was through Ecamm that you were doing
that's
that,
all through Ecamm. But then the Ecamm Live has what's called a virtual webcam, so you can basically what I'm seeing here on my screen, can get output into any other app that uses a webcam. So I then load up StreamYard and I use the virtual webcam as my camera in StreamYard, and that allows me then to multicast to all these different platforms and manage the comments. And that's one of the big things at the moment. You can use different tools, but they don't always show the comments. So it's not perfect, but it's pretty good.
I love it. I've been talking about the virtual camera thing a lot, actually, because I love that with Zoom, you can use a virtual camera. So I use the eyeglasses by Ecamm all the time, which I love. So I can do little fun filters and things. But I didn't realize that Ecamm creates a virtual camera that you can then share other places also. Yeah. Is that what you mean? Yeah, cool. I dig it.
Absolutely.
Look at this.
So that's cool. Right. Well, we've got loads of other questions. Shane, I will get back to you on you've got asking some really great questions about podcasting, and I will get back to you on that. That's really awesome. We've got Eileen Smith is here. Wonderful to see you watching on YouTube. Great to see you. So we've talked about why live video. Can you remember the first time that you went live, and did you feel nervous? Did you feel that kind of funny fluttering of in your tummy before you went live? Yeah,
definitely. And I remember the first time that I went live on Periscope, actually, and oh my gosh, it was like the worst thing ever. I was in an Uber with my husband, and I didn't know how to use it. And I remember that I literally turned it on, and I gave like a a business card. I was like, my name's Molly Mahoney. I have a company called The Prepared Performer. It was like, what are you doing? It was really bad. And my husband was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. I'm just, ugh. But once Facebook Live came out, I had some more business savviness. And I actually, in my master class where I teach people how to use live video, I have a picture of my very first live video on Facebook. So I know exactly where I was. I was sitting at my piano. At that point, I was still teaching singing lessons, and I had to use his phone. So on an iPhone, the white balance was so crazy. So I'm like really washed out. And I think the very first time I used it on Facebook, I was more excited than anything. But the first time I did it on my business page, I was terrified. Because all of a sudden the stakes were higher, and I was worried nobody was going to show up or it was going to flop and all this stuff. And yeah, I mean, we could get more into what happened from that, but
yeah, well, and it's interesting. I think there is a real correlation, or almost the emotion of excitement and fear, or they're kind of
excited
almost
and scared.
The same thing. There's kind of like. I was talking to a friend of mine who's a professional oboe player, and he was saying that, the emotions of excitement and fear are pretty much the same. They're very, very similar. So
yeah, I heard, I don't know if you know my awesome friend and glam member, Jerry Ann. She's a Facebook community leader, and she said something to me, which she heard somebody else say. She couldn't remember who it was that said it, but I loved this idea because I've heard the excited and scared thing before, but she said, what if fear was anticipation? And that's really what I think it is, more than excitement. Like the feeling is the same, but it's that feeling of like, the night before Christmas, or it's that feeling of like what's going to happen, of a first date, of that kind of thing. It's a fear and it's anticipation, which I love.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's a really good way of looking at it. So have you had any disasters and in Facebook, and what have you, Facebook Live or any live video, in fact, and what did you learn from that experience?
Okay. Do you know about I had one disaster that was the most awful I've ever heard of anyone experiencing on live video. Actually, have you seen the woman who on that Zoom call, there's like a video that's been going around of a woman on a Zoom call who doesn't realize she's on camera?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, that one was worse than what happened to me, I think. But she actually takes her desktop or her laptop with her into the restroom and sets it on the floor. And you see her pull down her pants and sit on the toilet while she's on a Zoom call. And you can see the other people. Like, there's nothing actually that, like, I would show it to my kids. It's like I mean, it's inappropriate, but it's not inappropriate. But you can see there's other people on the call, like the host who doesn't know what's happening. So they're just talking and don't see it. But other people on the call start to see it, but they're muted. So they're like waving their hands, like covering their face, trying to get it to stop. And the woman like realizes it at the very end. And you can see that because all you can see are her ankles and like the side of the toilet. And then you see the whole thing like shut down because she realizes what's happening.
Oh, no.
So I didn't do that. But I did have an experience. It was awful. It was actually when I first launched our Camera Confidence program, and I went live every day for 30 days in our Facebook group, teaching these little bite-sized tips. And I had this new selfie stick. Usually I used a tripod, but I had a new selfie stick, and I thought, oh, this is such a great idea. It was really cute, and it was white with gold polka dots on it. And I just wanted to use the cute selfie stick. It unfortunately didn't have a head that actually turned the right way. So I had to hold it on my shoulder as I was doing the live video. Like, what was I thinking? So I was teaching one of my favorite ninja tricks, which is how to change your thumbnail on your personal page on Facebook. And so I was explaining how to do this, and I had the thing there, and I was explaining this little trick that I have about it. And out of nowhere, my phone fell out of the selfie stick and it landed on the floor, shooting up my skirt.
No.
And I don't know if you know, like, you know this, Ian, but if you're watching this and we've never met before, I have a very G-rated brand. Like, I used to teach kids. I have a really, like, family, like, do not cuss on my show. There is nothing. So I, like, looked down, and luckily I was getting ready to go to a networking event, and I had on this skirt that had crinoline underneath it. So I was wearing like a 50s skirt with crinoline because I'm a crazy person, but but it turned out to be a good thing. So I looked down, all I could see was like the ruffles of the crinoline and my feet, right? And I was like, ah! So I screamed, I jumped back, I am dying, like mortified. I pick up the phone and I'm like crying. I'm laughing so hard. And there were people there live with me, right? So I was like, oh my gosh, like you have to tell me how bad that was. Like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. Do I keep going? I thought I could just keep this going forever and then no one would be able to rewind back to that point. I ended up pulling it together somehow. As soon as it ended, I rewound to that spot. I took a screenshot of it and sent it to my mom. Like, how bad is this? And she was like, it's not actually even that bad. Like, it was kind of like the Big Lebowski when he's like going through everybody, all the legs, there was like lots of leg, but it was actually fine. So I took it as a moment that if I could live through that, literally you could live through anything. And use a tripod, not a selfie stick.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my goodness, because the thing is, if that kind of thing happened to me, or many people, I think I would probably want to give up. I would probably want
totally.
But you didn't. You kept going, and yeah. I would love. People are watching. What are some of the maybe embarrassing times they've had, and we've all had them. Some worse than others, but we keep going. Mandy Jo says you should see some of the exercise videos that Facebook gives me from my exercise videos. So yeah, I mean. It's a mad world. So let's move on. You've mentioned in your bio talking about authentic authentic Facebook content, and I just wanted to ask you, what do you mean? What do we mean? Because authenticity, you mentioned this before. Maybe it's an overly used word now, but what does it mean to create authentic Facebook Live content, and why does it matter?
Well, and this is true for your content across all platforms too, right? Not only Facebook Live, but everything that you're doing. People want to know that you're really who you are. Like, and they when something is a little too fake, like put on, a lot of people are turned off by that. So the thing is, though, is that in order for something to be quote unquote authentic, is that you have to actually know who you are in order to show up how you are.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that so often people are missing is that they don't even know who they are. Even people who have crazy successful businesses get so worried about this stuff because they're like, what if I mess up? But what if you mess up? Like, I know if I mess up, I am going to be me through that mess up, and I'm going to be able to show you that I'm a human being. So it's going to be okay. And that's changed things for me across everything that I do, not only in live video. So there's a strategy that I have that I developed back when I was auditioning, because it's similar for actors that you have to show up as a human if you want to be able to step into a role of somebody else.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. So, and being authentic is so important, because if you want your audience to get to know, to actually buy your products or work with you, you want them to know the real you, because if they then sign up with you and they realize that the person they've been watching on the Facebook Live videos is someone completely different, they're going to want their money back, aren't they?
Well, yeah, or you're going to end up, I always talk about the fact that you're going to end up having to try and pretend that you're somebody else in your program. And when something does happen, like, like your kid walks in the middle of your video and, a coaching call and hands you a remote control or a video game controller. You want them to be understanding of that when something does happen that's real, because otherwise you're setting yourself up for a seriously stressful life. So I think also it's helpful for us, like for people to know that it's doable, because if we were so, people want to work with someone who's just a few steps ahead of them. If they're so far ahead, it can be very intimidating, and they're not going to want to purchase from you because it seems like it's unattainable.
That's a really good point. Absolutely. And I think the other thing is that we don't, it's so easy to compare ourselves with other people as well. So we should never do that. We need to be ourselves. But so, all of us have got different energy levels. But I think when we do our live video, we need to be ourselves, but we probably do want to put more energy into it. So I'm putting more energy. I'm still myself, but I'm putting more energy into this than I would be maybe if I was just speaking to Helen, my wife downstairs. It has to be a bit more energy. Otherwise, people are going to fall asleep.
I once had someone. Okay, Joel. What's his last name? Joel. What's? My brain's not working. Okay, some of you know because you saw this thing. I did this thing called the Pitch Fixer, and we had to pitch for. We had like a minute or 2 minutes to pitch our business. This was like about a year ago. And the whole thing was being live streamed. So some of you may have actually been there. We had lots of people from our community who were watching this live, and he didn't know anything about me. And so he brought me on, and I did this thing that was, usually I think actually today, right now, I may have a little less energy than I do on video. And so he was trying to get me to like take it down a notch. And so what he said was, and it was funny because the people who are in our community know that I actually have more energy than this in real life. So they were like, what are you doing? Like, don't hold her hand. They were like freaking out as he was trying to get me to have less energy. He since sent me we're good friends now. And he sent me an amazing video. Like if I had known what I was dealing with, I probably would have handled that differently. But he said, can you just like talk to me as if, let's say you're trying to get your kids to clean the room, like, and you're just like talking to your kids, wanting them to clean the room. What would you do? And I said, I'd probably go, okay, boys, we're going to play a game. He was like, well, you're for real. Like, that's how much energy you actually have. I was like, yeah. So, I know. So it's important though, to be able to have bring your own energy and elevate it a little bit, like whatever that means. It may mean for me that I need to like streamline it so that it's not totally psycho, but you definitely want to have an elevated sense of your you-ness.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's really good. So, I want to talk about bots because I think I need some help here because so I've got an admission for you in that I've never really managed to get that enthusiastic about bots. And I know this is really bad because you're so into bots. And
especially with how techie you are.
I know. I don't know what went wrong along the way, but so bots, maybe kind of explain first of all, what are bots in the context of live video, and do they still work? Should we be looking down this road? I mean, give us let us know.
Okay, yeah. So what they are, it's an automated it's a way to automate Messenger on your business page on Facebook. And so I want to be really clear that as we're talking about ways to drive traffic and sales, one of the most important things that you can do is to build relationships. And right now, the only way to do that is either through the internet or through a phone call. So
that's true.
This is why it's even more important, because you can't actually go to a coffee shop and connect with people. Maybe if you're watching this in the replay, you can, but it's still the thing that happens, for a lot of us is that it becomes impossible to be able to scale those one-on-one relationships in the way that without losing our mind, right? So at some point, you're going to have too many relationships that you're trying to build and you're not going to be able to keep up. And so I never like to use these automated messenger conversations to replace human interaction. It's to take it to a certain level so that a human can step back in. And so our favorite way to do this is that you can actually be on your business page on the book of the face. And when people give you a certain response below the video, the bot will respond automatically. And then it'll ask you like, hey, did you want the notes from today's show? Click this button and we'll send them to you. And at that point, you can get people to be subscribed to your messenger on your business page, similarly to how you would with an email, but it's all through Facebook. And for us, it's been a real game changer lately because you're only allowed to send messages. Facebook has changed the rules recently. You're only allowed to send messages to your subscribers if we're with two reasons. One is if they have interacted with your page within 24 hours. And the other is if they fall into these categories that Facebook has determined. One of those categories is confirmed event reminders. And so you can actually send a bot broadcast, which means a message that's sent through Messenger to thousands of people if they have confirmed that they want to be reminded about your live show. And I mean, the open rates on Messenger are around 80%, where email is around 20%. So the possibility there is just crazy. Actually, oh my gosh, Ian, I have to show you. I need to get screenshots of this, but I have a friend, a client. He's also my vocal coach, who is one of the top vocal coaches in New York. And he has some activity on his Facebook page, but it's not bananas. He launched a messenger bot last week that has brought in, oh my gosh, so many subscribers, comments, engagement is like out of control on his Facebook page. I'm actually going to look at the numbers right now. All he did was he took he created a March Madness like grid. Do you know what that is? I didn't know what it was because I helped him create it, but I hadn't. Okay, it's like a basketball. I guess this is what you do with basketball. You have like the teams that are going to play with each other. And then when they win, there's like a smaller amount of teams. And then when they win, I don't know what that thing's called. Have you heard of that kind of a thing before? It's like starts out with a lot of things. And then as they win, they narrow down. He's like, no.
I'll probably do, but yeah, maybe it's late in the evening. My brain's probably not.
Okay. So he had people vote. So they commented below a post. They got sent access to be able to vote. And he listed every show, like from the past several years inside these little things. So it was like, and it was the shows that didn't win Tony Awards. And it was like, we're going to find who the winner should have been. And we're going to find the best show out of all the non-Tony Award winning shows. And so he's done 8 separate posts with this as it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And it is crazy the way that people are now seeing, like turning his page to see first. He's bringing in, because he's teaching some voice lessons on Zoom, but he can't have people in his studio right now. And he is filling his page with engagement and community, and people are sharing it and talking about him simply because he gave them a way to have fun online.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So, there's so many ways that we can use this tool. And oh my gosh, I'm looking at his thing right now, and he's brought in, like 200 subscribers in the past few days just by giving them a chance to have fun.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, no, you've convinced me. I think it's really knowing where to start and coming back to having a strategy, isn't it? Shane says, interesting. So he says, I agree with this. He says, omni-channel is key. Bots are awesome, but remember, email's not dead. And I don't think you would agree with that. I mean, am I right? You can send people over to your list from bots using tools like ManyChat.
It's super important. And we are consistently bringing people to our email community and then also to a text messaging community. So we've had people, once they say they want to be reminded about our shows via Messenger, we say, great. And would you like to receive a text reminder too? And then they can enter their phone number in there, and then it sends them to the text reminders. So today, I didn't send out a Messenger bot broadcast because we've been doing a lot of videos lately. So I'm trying to be careful on how often I send that out. But I did send the text message broadcast out and an email broadcast. So we want to make sure we don't own Facebook. Who knows, your whole page could disappear tomorrow for no reason because of some glitch. So we always want to be bringing people off of the platform.
Yeah, that's really good. Really good. Mandy Jo says, Molly is awesome at doing a bot where you can get the text and email along with Facebook Messenger. And Shane also says, I've used your bot. I love it. So you got a lot of fans here today, which is cool. So before the break, we're actually going, this is a longer show than normal, but that's cool. As long as you're okay, Molly. Your kids are not climbing the walls too much.
Well, we have a man cave with a video with an Xbox in it, and that's where they are right now. So
that's
perfect.
Good. That's good. We all need a bit of that. So I think when it comes to the whole topic of driving more traffic and sales from live video, I mean, obviously this is a huge area. Where would you start if somebody wants to just broadcast a series of live videos, but they're wanting to actually create sales, grow the traffic? What would you do?
Yeah.
What would you say?
And so I want to start. This is so great. And I have a new framework for this actually that I've only been sharing for the past week or so, because I think a lot of people are realizing like, whoa, this is something that my business actually should look at, where they in the past had not thought that it was right for them. Also, my friend Tobin said this recently. He said that right now, all of us are a startup again, because we are living in a completely different world at this moment, right? Everything has changed. And even if your offer is exactly the same, your client, your potential client, is experiencing the world in a different way than they were before. So it's important for all of us to reassess this. So before you even get to the video piece, you've got to do some foundational work on your own stuff. So the first thing is know you as a human. The second thing is know who your client is. And if you're not quite sure, maybe your client is like, you're not sure where that's going to be, start with like, where are you the most connected right now in an online community? Because that may be your first opportunity to find clients. then you've got to look at, before you think about what you're selling right now, you have to look at what problems they're experiencing. And this is going to help you not only to get to the sales piece, but also just to start creating content that actually solves their problems. So once you do that, then you start to look at, okay, what solutions do I have? And these are both product-based solutions, but also right now, this is an awesome time for us to show up and solve problems for our community. So what non-product based solutions? And then after that is where you'll actually think about going live. So we have a whole system that we call the 3VO, which is you do a value video on your business page every week, weekly at the same exact time. And you do 3 value videos a week and then 1 offer. So 1 webinar, masterclass, something where you are driving traffic to it. You're presenting loads of value that people can actually put into action. And then you're graciously offering the opportunity to work with you.
I like that, graciously. that's cool.
And for a lot of people, like I've seen, we have a client who has a tanning salon, and they started doing live sales from inside the tanning salon with product that they had for sale in the lobby. So you could do a live sale all the time. Like those kind of product-based, like e-commerce sales, you could be doing way more often than just like a one-time masterclass once a month or something like that.
That's amazing. So don't just start live video without thinking about having a plan. You need to have some products. Have you actually got some products to sell? That's the first thing. And think about the strategy. I mean, I joke, but actually, I have to admit, this was a problem for me when I first started. I just went live because I enjoyed the tech, and then I thought, oh, I need to have something here, because people are asking me loads of questions about live video, but I don't have a product. And at the same time as moving house, that's when I came up with my first course. And I learned my lesson that way. Well, I didn't learn my lesson, because then I kind of procrastinated too long after that. But you need to have a plan. Definitely.
And if you don't have a course, like, know that live video can be your product. Like I don't know if you know Matt and Joe of the Hustle and Flowchart podcast, but what they do is so brilliant. And we have a whole program called Sell It First, which is basically what you did. Like, you're solving problems, see what your people want, and then create something for them. And what they do with their live videos is they just started doing live video, which is super awesome. But this is what they do with their podcast. They have show notes that go with the podcast, and then you get them for free for 2 weeks, and then they disappear. And if you want access to those show notes going forward, you have to join their membership. It's super affordable. I actually have it right here because they were just on my show. But they send out this whole thing. They have someone who turns the show into notes. And it's like, I was telling them yesterday that I'm so impressed by my own, because I bought it, and I didn't expect that the first one that I got would actually have my show in it, which was kind of a surprise and kind of fun. But, when you go into this, you actually, I was surprised by how smart I was. I was like, oh, I had lots of value. So it's pretty amazing. Look, it's got this whole thing, like, wow. And then they have sponsors for it, and they have a 6-figure or 7-figure business. Nice. All based on this affiliate marketing, and then a few other ways that they help people to leverage this in their own business.
Wow. That is amazing. And I think that's actually a really good point to bring in my next sponsor, which is all about content repurposing. So that's pretty handy.
I love it.
So I want to talk about Content 10X, and I thank Amy and the team at Content 10X for sponsoring this podcast pretty much, and the live show pretty much from the start. They are experts in content repurposing, and they provide a full end-to-end content repurposing service. So they'll take a piece of content. It could be your live video. And one of the great things about live video is once you've planned it and you go live, you've created this piece of content that is so quick and easy to produce. So they'll take that and they will explode it across the interwebs in a plethora of different content, whether that's blog posts, podcast episodes, videos, social media images, all that kind of thing. And this helps you reach new audiences and saves you time so that you can focus on building your business. So if you want to do it yourself, you can do. They've got loads and loads of information about this on their blog. They've got a podcast. They've got a book now, Content 10X. This is Amy's written this amazing book, and it's packed with great advice on all things content repurposing. And of course, they can do it for you as well if you don't have the time and you'd rather get other people to do it. So all you need to do is just go to content10x.com. Fab. So content repurposing is
awesome. And that's one of our favorite things is the fact that we're now going back to content from like 2-3 years ago and starting to repurpose that now. So I love that you, like, once you show up and start creating it and you're ready to have to bring on a team like that, or, start to do it yourself, like you can go back to the stuff that you did in the beginning. You just have to show up.
Yeah, you do. You need to show up, and you need to just press that button. Obviously, you need to plan, and you need to turn up regularly. That was one of the things that I said I was going to do last year. I was going to go live every week. I was going to have the podcast every week, and yeah. That's important. So, any other thoughts on the whole idea of driving more traffic and sales with live video? I mean, any other things that we need to be thinking about?
Yeah, so I think that consistency is really important. And right now it's really speaking to the problems that people are experiencing and recognizing that people want education, they want motivation, they want entertainment. There's so many things that you can deliver with live video, accountability. There's so much that can be a solution. And I actually just saw Jay Abraham on a live show this morning, and he shared something that I thought was so great. And this is something that we use to come up with content ideas, but he was using it to come up with product ideas. So if you're in a place where you don't know what the heck to sell, and maybe you are a dentist who can't deliver your services, or people are not coming in as often because it's not possible right now. What he said is, look at your clients and see. And this is one thing we use for content creation, and also finding like guests and power partners or JV partners. Your content is here, your product is here, and look at what they buy before they work with you. Look at what they buy after they work with you, and look at what they buy during the time that they work with you, and see, maybe you need to make a little shift right now in what you're delivering. So maybe your product can't be sold right now, but there's something that your people would still benefit from that you could actually monetize. And I love that idea. And I think even if you're not going to create a new product like that, sign up for an affiliate program. Like we have an affiliate program that people can sell our stuff and make 40% off of our programs, and they don't have to do anything to deliver.
That's awesome. Yeah. So affiliate stuff is really good. And I think it's these little micro pivots. So actually using your live show and then listening to your audience. Sometimes they'll say things that may hurt occasionally, and you may have to change things, and maybe they're not buying your products, and you think, oh well, what other place can you actually really listen to your audience, and they can have full access to you? Yeah, which is cool.
I love it.
Well, I think we're at the end. Unfortunately, all good things have to come to an end, unfortunately. But I know that. How can people find out a little bit more about you? And I know that you've got an amazing program. Lots of things that people can find out more about. So, where's the best place to get?
Yeah. So if you go to molly.live/Ian, you will actually get access to so many things. So you'll see, if you want to learn more about bots, you can actually meet our messenger bot, Mollybot. You click on that, it'll open in Messenger. You can grab our video content planner, which gives you a printable workbook, basically, that you'll be able to brainstorm your content ideas. There's a live video checklist in there so that you can get started with that. And even though I said, if it's about the gear, it's really the fear, we do have a tool, software, and gear list on there as well. And if you want more information about how to work with us, or our favorite tools, you can actually find all of it on there. So it's pretty awesome. And it's molly.live. That's actually the website /Ian.
Yeah, that's cool. I think I've got it on the screen, or I did have it
just there. Yeah, you did. Perfect.
It took me ages to try and type that in and get the right colors because it wasn't working. But there we go. So molly.live/Ian. Thank you so much for putting that together. That's awesome. And it's been great to have you on the show. We've had lots of amazing comments. I'm sorry I haven't been able to get through all of them. So Apostle Tom, is it Tama McIver says, Molly, I'd like to learn more about the affiliate program. So yes.
Oh, Tamar, yeah. And shout out to Tamar, because she has been doing live videos for quite a while now, and they are so inspirational. And she does these videos from home, I think, is where you're doing your videos, Tamar. And she just gives so much passion and so much value that my whole family loves to watch her videos. And it's so great, Tamar, when you're showing up and sharing your passion and your goodness with the world. So shout out to you.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you, Molly. Thank you so much for everyone watching the live show, and thank you so much for listening to the podcast. It's great. I really don't take that for granted. The show notes for this, when this is out, when the podcast is out in a few weeks' time, will be at iag.me/51. That's iag.me/51. And as we said, if you want to find out more about Molly, just go to molly.live/Ian. That's IAN. I know there are different spellings of Ian, but there we go. I'm the right way. But thanks, Molly. And we'll see you soon. So until next time,
I love it.
I encourage you to level up your impact, authority, and profits using Confident Live Video. See you soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Confident Live Marketing Podcast with Ian Anderson Gray. Be sure to join the community at iag.me, where you can continue to level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of live video. And until next time, toodaloo.